This picture was inspired by number 17, the star card in the tarot. I'm going to do my own series of the major arcana. I don't know if I'll ever get around to finishing the whole thing, but this is the first one I finished. So the star card is linked with Aquarius. The typical image is a woman kneeling down and pouring water into a lake or river. She quite often is naked, and there are stars above her head, which are linked with the Pleiades, so 7 stars, and one big star, which is often associated with Ishtar or Aphrodite, or generally goddess symbolism. And there is a lot of water energy in this picture, lots of blues and a bit of white. Interestingly, Aquarius is air, not water. And as usual, there's lots of parts that make up the image. For example, here on the left-hand side, I make out the form of a figure that is riding on something that I'm not sure what it is. Let's call it a water bull, because it looks like it's got some sort of horns. It's a female figure because she's got breasts, and there's some sort of star over her face. And then kind of looking on from the centre are what look like 2 people with their heads slightly bowed in veneration. They look like they've got cloaks or hoods on. And then there's another 2 figures lower than that, one of which looks a bit like a penguin. And then to the far left of that is a being that's got this sort of blue and white robe that looks a bit like the robes they would have worn in Egypt, except obviously that would have been yellow and gold. There's another smaller figure with that person there, which looks a bit like, I don't know, a rabbit standing up with a hat on, and then something to the right which looks a bit ghost-like. At the very top, it looks to me like a female figure that's probably naked, holding a staff, looking up towards the staff. But it looks to me as if she's standing on a person's head. It looks probably like a man's head. And what were the heads of those 2 people that were looking in veneration below actually look like they've now formed his hands. And there is another being off to the left of that female. And then just over to the right-hand side, I see lots of swooshes. That's air or smoke. And kind of like a bird, a heron perhaps, sat just watching on there with a bit of space between them and the people. There's another bird down here at the bottom. It looks a bit like a kingfisher, but it also looks like they're leaning on a staff or a stick of some kind as well. There's other people there with them. So that's just the main image again. I absolutely love this. I think it's beautiful. And I realise that sometimes when I say that, it must sound as if I'm being really arrogant. Look at my picture, look how beautiful it is. The thing with it is I never know what I'm actually painting until it's finished. And so when I say I think it's beautiful, I think the presence that's helping me to do this is beautiful. And if that makes me arrogant, that's cool. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe.